Welcome to the A.D.K Rock and Metal channel. My name is Kirk. I said we'd be making it a regular thing to look back upon the best albums of the month that has just passed. Therefore, it's time to examine the records that stood out for their brilliance in the month of July 2023. So we started the month with a surprise release from the new hardcore supergroup led by Dillinger Escape Plan, or ex-Dillinger Escape Plan vocalist Greg Puciato. His new band is called Better Lovers, and they released their debut 4-track EP called God Made Me an Animal on the 7th of July via Sharp Tone Records. The pedigree in this band is strong enough to make your fingers tremble. Jordan Buckley and Clayton Hollyoak of Every Time I Die are in the group, along with metalcore supremo, musician and producer Will Putney of Fit for an Autopsy. This will remind you of Dillinger Escape Plan minus the chaotic modulations and frantic drum blasting. Indeed, track 1, Sacrificial Participant, has a similar vibe to Milk Lizard from Dillinger's 2007 Iron Works album. Greg commits most of his time and effort to screaming down the microphone in a hyper-violent rage here, while Buckley and Putney deliver a cacophony of rotating hardcore grooves in standard tuning. Track number 2, 30 Under 30, will get your pulses racing like a greyhound dog from the first note. Definitely give this EP a listen. On the same day, we also saw the release of album number 7, called 7, from enigmatic hardcore metal innovators Will Haven. Now, I always remember these as a band that are best friends with the Deftones, which put me off listening to them in 2001 at the height of nu metal. Now, that was obviously a big mistake. How do you even categorize this music? I now realize that Will Haven were playing post-metal in 1997 before the genre turned into a homage to Neurosis. They were playing the downtuned grooves before metalcore bands discovered Meshuggah. Vocalist Grady Avnol is one of the fiercest scream techniques in the heavy music scene. The band also insert eerie atmospherics into their music to give it an extra dimension of panic. Check out the video single 5 of Fire if you want something to rip your face off. This is a fucking great album. If you want an underground EP from Berlin in Germany, stream the new 60-minute song from Sayer. It's a self-release called 27 Million, and it also came out on the 7th of July. This is an ambitious marriage of downtuned thrash, post-metal, and unhinged post-rock. You can hear Devin Townsend at play in here, as well as the fellow Germans in The Ocean and Downfall of Gaia. The Berlin scene is thriving right now. Why not explore some of the other bands, such as When Thea Created the Moon, Revo, and Human Traces, after you give this one a listen? Who remembers the impact of Huddersfield thrash metal unit Evil when they exploded onto the scene in 2007 with Enter the Grave? Did you know that they signed to Napalm Records in 2021 and released a comeback album called Hell Unleashed? That was a solid affair with more than a passing resemblance to early 1990s Sepultura, but now Old Drake has Metallica's Black Album in his sights for their latest effort called The Unknown. I don't know if Old benefited from singing lessons or not, but his voice on this album is masculine and confident and powerful. The riffs are slower and even crunchier. The lyrical themes more attuned with mental health issues. It felt a little strange to hear Evil in 2021 without Matt Drake at the microphone, but Old has stepped up here and also produced some of the best guitar riffs of his career so far. This is metal with a capital M. Go out and buy The Unknown on CD or vinyl. The band released it on the 14th of July via Napalm Records. So anyone who knows me will know that I could listen to prog metal all day, every day, for the rest of my life. I mean, look at me, for God's sake. I could be the face of a meme for this fucking genre. Imagine my excitement about the sophomore album from the Zenith Passage called Data Elysium, released on Metal Blade Records on the 21st of July. Led by LA guitar god Justin McKinney, the quintet underwent a radical overhaul of their lineup in 2021. Think of the best bits from the recent Cattle Decapitation album and add in the rhythmic violence of Decapitated, and you have a prog album with glowing tech death credentials. The riffs on this album are sharp, punchy, and brutal. The drum calibrations are out of this world, sometimes even out of the reach of your 4/4 timing instincts. I'd probably listen to more Archspire records if they sounded like this album. I guarantee as well that this record will inspire you guitarists out there to pick up your instruments once you hear the first 3 tracks of this LP. Go and listen to this album. Post-metal seems to be the genre that flourished in the month of July. One of the more abstract records of the month is The Starving Lesson by Philadelphia collective Quiet Man, which saw release on the 14th of July via Riff Merchant Records. This LP takes aim at the perceived evil of capitalism and its harmful effects on the planet, yet to me it sounds like one person's descent into self-starvation, mixing ethereal textures with noisy distortion and harrowing vocal screams. You'll hear Inter Armour in the mix, but it reminds me more of Dutch post-metal group Throwing Bricks and its emotional devastation and utter collapse of hope. Of course, it's a dark experience and it comes from a broken soul, but it's hard not to be enthralled by the effervescent dynamics. The band wanted to create a psychedelic post-metal record, but there's no way you'd want to experience a trip like this one if you decided to drop acid. Continuing with this genre, the 28th of July saw the release from Liverpool quartet Meru. It's their debut record and it's called Soul Cultus, and they released it by Trepanation Recordings. This album's more atmospheric than your standard post-metal outing, leaning more towards the textures of Still and Everest Queen. Most songs clock in at 7 minutes, but few of them stay in the same tempo despite taking influence from early Anathema. Filthy bass distortion, doom riffs that are really ugly, and intricate drum rhythms stop you from falling into a malaise. One moment the band lock into an outburst of sludgy riffing, the next one will be a contemplative moment of reflection evolving under the dance macabre of the tom drums. The vocals are sparse on this record, but the emotional outcries that filter through your headphones are agonizing. They're like pleas for help. It's not a record you'd share with your friends at a party, but it might appeal to your more introverted self. Check this one out. And finally, let's acknowledge the hard-rocking guitar brilliance of the new album from English metal quintet Raise. They released Pyrography on One-Eyed Toad Records on the 28th of July. Those of you that consider Dirt by Alice in Chains to be the height of guitar heaven, and I include myself in that category, will marvel at the flamboyant metallic grunge riffs and powerful baritone vocals of their singer Louis Dunham. Ray started as a grunge hangover but evolved into a crunchy alternative metal band over the last 2 years, taking the best of Alter Bridge and adding in prog metal tangents and deathcore voice techniques. Closing track Blue Sky Vengeance might be a hint of their future direction. I hear Pain of Salvation and Tool vibes in this song. Check out the promo video on YouTube and buy their album from Bandcamp. Well, we've come to the end. What can I say? Thank you for tuning in today. I'll be back in 4 weeks' time with a rundown of the best albums of August 2023. One day you might be able to share my enthusiasm as well. Until then, remember to like and subscribe to the A.D.K Rock and Metal YouTube channel. I will definitely see you soon. Take care.